If you have ever been described as sweet, kind, or too good, yet found yourself ignored, replaced, or slowly pushed aside, this message is for you. Many men live inside a quiet contradiction. They do everything they believe a good man should do. They reply quickly, show up consistently, offer emotional support, give reassurance, and make themselves available. And yet, the more they give, the less they are chosen. Texts go unanswered. Signals become mixed. Interest fades. Eventually, they are treated like an option rather than a priority. This experience feels confusing and humiliating, especially because it seems to contradict what you were taught about love. The truth is not that women hate good men. The truth is far more uncomfortable. What most people call being nice is often not love, confidence, or strength. It is unspoken insecurity expressed through behavior. It is approval-seeking disguised as kindness. It is the subtle leaking of weakness through overgiving, over-explaining, and over-investing before respect has been established. From a psychological perspective, this creates an imbalance. When one person is constantly trying to prove their value, they silently communicate that their value is not assumed. Most nice guys believe they are being loving. In reality, they are auditioning. Every compliment, every fast reply, every extra favor carries an invisible question. Is this enough for you to choose me? That question is felt even when it is never spoken. Attraction does not grow in environments where one person is trying to earn approval while suppressing their own standards and needs. Instead of creating closeness, this dynamic slowly erodes respect. This video is not about becoming cold, manipulative, or cruel. It is not about playing games or turning into someone you are not. It is about identifying 5 deeply destructive habits that many well-intentioned men repeat without realizing the damage they cause. These habits do not fail loudly. They fail quietly. They drain your dignity, your emotional energy, and often your money, while leaving you resentful and confused about what went wrong. The last 2 habits are especially dangerous because they feel noble on the surface. They look like loyalty, support, and maturity. But underneath, they create a dynamic where you give more and more while being valued less and less. If you do not understand these patterns, you will repeat them with different women and reach the same ending every time. To change your results, you must first understand how respect is lost before attraction ever has a chance to grow. And that begins with the first habit almost every nice guy believes is helping him, when, in reality, it is doing the opposite. In the next part, we will start with how over-complimenting and over-validating quietly destroys your position before anything real can begin. The first destructive habit is over-complimenting and over-validating too early. On the surface, this looks harmless, even romantic. You are simply expressing how much you like her. You admire her beauty, her personality, the way she makes you feel. At first, she may smile, enjoy it, and respond warmly. But psychologically, something subtle shifts the moment your compliments begin to outpace reality. Instead of curiosity and tension, you create certainty. And certainty kills attraction far faster than disinterest ever could. When a man floods a woman with praise early on, especially before she has earned emotional investment or proven consistency, it sends a clear internal signal this man is already hooked. Once she feels that, she no longer needs to maintain effort, standards, or consistency. There is no mystery to solve and no value to discover. She already knows where she stands, and she knows you will still be there regardless of how she shows up. The most damaging part is that these compliments often carry hidden pressure. They are not neutral observations. They are requests for validation in disguise. Statements like calling her perfect before you understand her character. Saying, "I've never met anyone like you," after a few conversations. Or telling her, "I'm lucky to have you," before loyalty or commitment exists. All translate emotionally into one message: please like me back. Even if she never consciously labels it that way, she feels the hunger behind the words, behind. Once that dynamic forms, her behavior naturally shifts. Replies become slower and shorter. Effort drops. Interest becomes inconsistent. Some women, especially those seeking ego reinforcement, will keep you around as a source of easy praise. You become a free fan, always supportive, always available, always validating, without requiring anything in return. Over time, resentment grows on your side, while respect quietly disappears on hers. The alternative is not silence or emotional coldness. It is restraint and self-respect. Compliments should slow down, not because you are hiding interest, but because interest should be grounded in observation, not fantasy. Focus on rare qualities instead of common ones. Beauty is everywhere. Character is not. Watch how she treats others, how she keeps her word, how consistent she is over time. When you do acknowledge something, keep it simple and specific. "I respect how you handled that situation" carries far more weight than paragraphs of admiration. Then move on. Do not wait for a reaction. Do not stack praise hoping to be chosen. Real interest is communicated through leadership, boundaries, and consistency, not worship. Women do not disrespect kindness. They disrespect excessive liking that causes a man to forget himself. And once you forget yourself, she never has the chance to discover you. In the next part, we will address a habit even more damaging than praise. One that quietly makes your emotional stability dependent on her phone screen and hands her control of the entire dynamic. The second destructive habit is treating her attention like a salary. Many nice guys do not realize that their emotional state has slowly become dependent on whether a message arrives or not. When she replies quickly, they feel calm, confident, and hopeful. When she goes silent, anxiety creeps in. The mind starts racing. You check when she was last online. You reread conversations. You watch her stories and try to decode meaning where none may exist. Without realizing it, her phone activity begins to regulate your nervous system. This dependency leaks through behavior. You reply instantly every time. You ask excessive questions to keep the conversation alive. You over-explain simple points. You add extra effort, jokes, memes, or just checking in messages to prevent silence. From the outside, it looks like interest. From the inside, it is fear. And fear is always felt, even when it is never named. Women are extremely sensitive to emotional dependency because it shifts the power dynamic. When she senses that your stability depends on her responses, she may unconsciously test it. She replies slower. She disappears for a day. She pulls back slightly, not always to hurt you, but to see whether you can handle pressure. This is where most nice guys fail. Instead of remaining grounded, they double text, send unnecessary apologies, or try to repair something that was never broken. Each attempt confirms the same message: you matter more to me than I matter to myself. Once that pattern is established, respect erodes quickly. She learns that she controls the rhythm. She can disappear and return at will. She can offer crumbs of attention and keep you emotionally warm while she explores other options. You become predictable, easy to manage, and safe to deprioritize. The alternative is not playing games or intentionally ignoring her. It is detaching your self-worth from her responsiveness. Your life must continue at full speed, regardless of whether a message arrives. Work, training, goals, friendships, and purpose cannot pause while you wait for validation. Texting should have intention. You communicate because you want to connect or move something forward, not because you are soothing anxiety or preventing abandonment. When a man remains calm in the face of silence, does not overreact, and continues living fully, something shifts. He becomes emotionally non-controllable. There is no punishment, no sulking, no chasing, just steady, grounded continuation. Women can feel this stability immediately. An empty life is easy to exploit. A full life cannot be controlled. In the next part, we will explore how fear of loss traps many men in undefined situations where they give everything without ever being chosen, and why accepting confusion is one of the fastest ways to lose respect. The third destructive habit is accepting unclear relationships out of fear. Many nice guys find themselves giving boyfriend-level effort in situations that have no definition, no commitment, and no direction. They answer late-night calls, provide emotional support, spend time and money, and remain consistently available, all while the relationship itself exists in a gray zone. This is emotional slavery disguised as hope. The man tells himself that patience will be rewarded, that proving himself over time will eventually make her choose him to avoid the risk of losing her. He accepts vague explanations. She says she is not ready, does not want labels, or needs to focus on herself, instead of seeing these statements for what they are. He treats them as temporary obstacles. He tolerates inconsistent replies, unpredictable affection, and long periods of distance, while continuing to invest fully. Each day he stays in this position. He unknowingly teaches her how little clarity he requires to remain, psychologically. This places him in the backup role. He becomes emotional support, not a partner to build with. She keeps her options open while enjoying the benefits he provides. The most damaging part is not her behavior, but what his acceptance communicates. By staying without clarity, he signals that his time, energy, and presence do not require commitment in return. Value drops not because he lacks qualities, but because he tolerates crumbs. The belief that suffering and patience will be rewarded is one of the most persistent myths in dating. Attraction is not earned through endurance. No one is ever inspired to choose a partner because that person endured uncertainty quietly. In fact, the opposite happens. The longer you stay in confusion, the harder it becomes for her to see you as someone who leads his own life with intention. The alternative is not confrontation or ultimatums. It is calm clarity. You state what you want without begging, arguing, or threatening to leave. You simply say that you like her, but you do not do undefined situations. You are intentional with your time and energy. Then you watch behavior, not words. Consistency always reveals the truth. If clarity appears, you move forward. If it does not, you walk away with dignity. The greatest fear for many men is walking away and losing her. But the real loss happens when you stay and lose yourself. And once you lose yourself, she loses you anyway. In the next part, we will look at a habit that confuses many men, the belief that access equals intimacy, and why frequent contact often hides the absence of real commitment. The fourth destructive habit is confusing access with intimacy. Many nice guys mistake frequent communication, emotional sharing, and late-night conversations for genuine closeness. They believe that because she talks to them every day, opens up about her feelings, or calls when she cannot sleep, they are building something real, psychologically. This is a dangerous misunderstanding. Access is easy, intimacy is rare, and the two are not the same. Access simply means You are available. It means you are reachable, responsive, and emotionally open. A woman may grant access when she is bored, lonely, stressed, or seeking comfort. She may enjoy the attention, the validation, or the emotional safety you provide without having any intention of committing. The nice guy, however, interprets this access as progress. He invests more, imagines a future, and emotionally commits to a story that exists mostly in his head. Over time, this creates a painful dynamic. He becomes her mood stabilizer, the person she turns to when she needs reassurance, distraction, or emotional relief. He is useful, predictable, and safe, but never fully chosen. Despite offering husband-like effort, he is introduced as a friend. His presence is welcomed, but his position never advances. The alternative is learning to judge by behavior, not by emotions, words, or late-night vulnerability. Real intimacy shows itself through responsibility. It looks like planning dates, initiating contact with intention, following through on promises, respecting your time, and remaining consistent in all emotional states, not just moments of need. Intimacy requires effort and accountability, not just access. This also means reducing availability for low-effort contact. You do not need to respond instantly to breadcrumbs. You do not need to absorb midnight emotional dumping that leads nowhere. Setting these boundaries is not punishment. It is clarity. If a woman is offended when you require consistency, she was never seeking intimacy. She was seeking access. When you stop confusing closeness with commitment, you regain your power. You stop investing in fantasy and start responding to reality. And reality always reveals itself through patterns of action. In the next part, we will examine one of the most quietly damaging habits of all: the urge to fix her problems in order to feel valuable, and why being needed is not the same as being desired. The fifth destructive habit is rushing to fix her problems in order to earn value. Many nice guys believe that stepping in to solve issues proves their reliability and masculinity. They offer to pay bills, provide rides, handle emergencies, or constantly rescue her from stressful situations. On the surface, this looks like responsibility and care. Beneath it, however, is a deeper motive: the hope that by being useful, they will become necessary. And if they are necessary, they believe they will be chosen. Attraction does not work this way. Being needed is not the same as being desired. In fact, usefulness without boundaries often reduces a man to a resource rather than elevating him to a partner. When you rush to fix problems that are not yours, especially before commitment exists, you teach her that your value lies in what you provide, not who you are. Over time, this erodes respect. The consequences are subtle but severe. Your help is no longer appreciated because it was volunteered, not earned. The cost to you is invisible to her because you never required responsibility in return. Resentment builds quietly as you give more and receive less. Eventually, you become the spare tire, not part of the journey, but pulled out only when something goes wrong. The alternative is understanding the difference between support and rescue. Support means being present while she handles her responsibilities. Rescue means carrying her so she does not have to grow. Before stepping in, observe her patterns. Does she solve problems or create them? Does she take responsibility or avoid it? Does she reach out only when she needs something? These questions reveal far more than her words ever will. A good man does not overfunction in non-committed situations. He does not perform husband duties without a wife. He offers help when it is earned, reciprocated, and aligned with commitment. When you stop rescuing, some women will accuse you of changing. What they are really reacting to is the loss of control and access, not a loss of kindness. When you remove fear-based giving from the dynamic, you reclaim your dignity. And dignity is the foundation of respect. In the final part, we will bring everything together and clarify what it truly means to stop being a nice guy without becoming cold, bitter, or cruel. To stop being a nice guy, you do not need to become cold, manipulative, or emotionally unavailable. You do not need to punish, withdraw affection as a tactic, or turn yourself into someone you are not. The real shift is much quieter and far more powerful. It is the decision to stop leaking power. Power leaks through over-validation, emotional dependency, accepting unclear situations, confusing access with intimacy, and trying to buy loyalty by fixing problems that are not yours. A good man is not a beggar with manners. He is not someone who performs endlessly in the hope of being chosen. He has standards, and those standards apply calmly and consistently, including to the women he likes. When those standards are not met, he does not argue, chase, or try to convince. He simply walks away without drama, resentment, or bitterness. That ability to leave peacefully is what creates respect, whether she chooses him or not. This approach does not guarantee that every woman will stay. Nothing does. But it guarantees something far more important. You keep your self-respect. And when a man keeps his self-respect, he becomes emotionally grounded, non-needy, and stable. These qualities are felt immediately. They change how women experience you because they change how you experience yourself. Many men spend years trying to become more attractive by adding techniques, lines, or strategies. In reality, attraction often returns the moment you stop overgiving and start standing firmly in who you already are. You lead your life. You protect your time. You invest where there is clarity, reciprocity, and consistency. And you walk away where there is confusion. If one of these points hit you harder than the others, comment the number from 1 to 5. It often reveals the exact pattern that has been holding you back. If you want more content on earning respect without chasing, like and subscribe. This work is not about controlling women. It is about mastering yourself.